Hey guys, welcome back to another review of my movies. Well, actually, not a review. We're gonna take another look at my collection, and the first movie on that collection will be Ben Affleck, The Way Back. It's about a guy who takes a coaching job to a basketball team who's not doing too well, and like the title of the movie, The Way Back, shows him the way back to a championship. The next movie is this is a three movie package. It's a triple feature. Shark versus Octopus, Monster, and the Raging Sharks. Seems interesting. I've yet to watch it yet. I'll be honest with you. I got I got a lot of movies. And like I say, when my friend passed away, he left me his 100 movie collection. So there are some of his movies which I didn't own at the time. So we'll get to them. If you're into horror, The Ring. Now, back years ago, Agatha Christie did a series of books. A lot of those books were eventually made into movies, and this is one of them. And then there were none. This was originally called 10 Little Indians. It's starring Barclay Fitzgerald and Walter Houston and June Dupez. What happens is a bunch of people have done wrong in their life, like murder. They get, an offer to go to this island. And the offer is if you can survive the island and... No, I'm sorry, that's a different movie. But it is the offer to come to the island. They all come to this island. There's 10 of them. And one by one, they start disappearing. And it gets down to the end of the movie where there's only one left. And this person disappears, and that's it. Okay, if you like Bill Murray, you'll love this. Stripes. It does have some adult features in the movie. If you're a parent and thinking about getting this movie, I highly suggest that you watch it first. There are some nudity scenes scenes in the picture that you may not deem it appropriate for a young viewer to watch. We have three Nicolas Cage pictures here. First one is with Cage and Nicole Kidman in Trespass. Then there's The Bad Lieutenant. And then 12 Hours, 10 million, one kidnapped daughter stolen. So I guess the movie is called Stolen. Nicolas Cage is a very good actor in my opinion. And here's another Riddick picture, the Chronicles of Riddick, which I'm moving to another location as we speak. And if you're into Dracula pictures, which I am, you've noticed in my my last video, that, well, it wasn't the last video, was it? What was the video before? Well, anyway, one of my last two videos, you've seen that I collect classic horror pictures, such as Dracula, which this deals with. This has been Helsing, a very good movie. I got sent this through the mail. It's King Tut. It's a pre-visual movie to show you what it's in the picture. I mean, it's how do I want to say it? It's part of a collection. You buy the first one, and I think this is number 19, so you get the idea of what I'm talking about. Volume 19, so it's like a collection or an encyclopedia. Okay, Bridge to Terra Bethea. Now this movie is from Walt Disney Pictures. The Bridge to Terra Bethea, an exhilarating and heartwarming fantasy adventure about the power of imagination and the magic of friendship. So has Angela? Can't even. Let me see if I can find her name here real quick. And it's not going to tell me, is it? Anna Sophia Robb, who also stars in what is it? Race to Witch Mountain with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and another boy and girl. And pretty good movie. I didn't appreciate the movie myself due to the fact that way too much violence for a Disney picture. Of course, Dwayne Johnson's known for that. The Rock. Now, some pictures I'm not going to show you is they're super religious or some other thing like that. And I'm sure you're not interested in them, so we'll move on to something like A Few Good Men. I think most people who collect movies has this in their library. I mean, I don't really have to say a whole lot about it. Now, this is a good picture, surprisingly good. Even though Tommy Lee Jones is one of the star mentioned in this, along with Matthew Fox, Jones doesn't have that big a deal in the picture or presence in the picture. Of course, he plays MacArthur. But Matthew Fox, this is the fall of Japan, right after World War II, and he's trying to find a Japanese girl that he had fallen in love with before the war, and hunting her down and so forth like that. I'm not going to spoil it for you, so pick up a copy and watch it for yourself. Ace the Case. How do I explain this? You remember Ace Ventura, Pet Detective 1 and 2. And then there's another one called The Junior Detective. Well, this is about a little girl who's kind of like a pet detective. And she's on the case. Her name is Ace. It's a cute little picture. And back in the early 70s, Burt Reynolds, who's now passed away, made a series of, I guess you want to call them redneck pictures. Most of what he made was redneck pictures, if you want me, except for Seamus. But Burt Reynolds has starred in a movie called White Lightning. He's a moonshiner who wages war against a city there. Now, there's another one that goes with that called Gator. Now, that's about him being in prison. I believe his little brother was killed, and all hell breaks loose when he comes out of prison for revenge. Skyfall, part of the James Bond collection. Now, if you're into military pictures, like I am, being former military myself, then you'll like... this was an adaptation from a book, which I think they did pretty darn well keeping to the book. It's called The Eagle Has Landed, starring Michael Caine, Robert Duvall, and Donald Sutherland. Kane does a great role in this. And Duvall's performance is outstanding. But Donald Pleasant, who plays Himmler in this, is the star of the movie as far as I'm concerned. What a performance. This is Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Shouldn't have to say too much about that, should I? Rhubarb. Please return, huh? Again, this is from my friend's collection. Again, I don't know anything about the picture except for the name. With a charming and fast-paced screwball comedy starring screen legend Ray Milland and enchanting beauty Jan Sterling. Trouble falls when an eccentric millionaire bequeaths his fortune and his baseball team to his pet cat. Now, we've heard of people doing that before, leaving their estate to their cat. Their pet cat. Now, the team's publicist, Millen, must convince the players that rhubarb is the key to their success. So, you know where this is going. I don't know if you are familiar with a lot of light comedy, but there's another picture out there called Bailey's Billions with Tim Curry, and the same situation happens. And it's just a harebrained comedy. Now, as I just mentioned a few minutes ago, Gator. Burt Reynolds' Gator. Now, this is, like I say, Burt Reynolds. Most of you who are just seeing that, the movie I just showed you, this movie came out for probably most of you were born. But if you're up in my age, Gator is Burt Reynolds. He's an inmate in prison getting ready to get out in just 2 days. But he learns that his brother Donnie has just been murdered by the sheriff, goes berserk and tries to escape. Meanwhile, the feds hire or persuade Reynolds to come work for them, and instead of him getting extra time for trying to escape, they'll, he just wipe his record clean and bring him back, then put him in a nice car and for him to uncover what the sheriff is doing. And wait, hopefully you have seen, some of you have seen it, but like I say, it came out way before probably a lot of you were born. But early 70s. It's a good movie. You get a chance to see it. It is the classic. This is Archie's Weird Mysteries. For those of you who remember Archie's comics, they had a series of animated sketches back in the 60s, early 70s. Archie and Friends. Here's the best of stand-up comedians with Johnny Carson. Again, my friend's video. Let's see. This is Cleopatra. It's a mini-series. Well, what I've seen is pretty good. I'll be watching this here directly. And of course, let's go back to the 50s and 60s when they were making these cheesy Marine Corps pictures. Every time you watch a Marine Corps picture, they get the Marine hymn at the end of it, which I thought was pretty pathetic. But here's one with Jack Webb playing a DI. And it was a pretty good movie. I mean, it's not, one of these You Good Men pictures, but picture from back in the 50s and 60s. Now, if you remember, some of you will remember, Jack Webb was also the producer, director of shows like Dragnet, Adam 12, The Lawyers. A pretty good man on this in front of the camera as well as behind it. For you, the elite package of Ben-Hur. I used to call this Ben-Him. This is everything you want to know about Ben-Hur in a box. And of course, the new release of Ben-Hur, which you're probably screaming at TV, what about the new one? What about the new one? There it is. We have that as well. And of course, my friend had a copy and now I got 3 copies of it. Again, back in the early days, I would say early 70s, I want to say, came out The Untouchables with this one is starring Kevin Costner with Sean Connery and a few others. Of course, back in the 60s with Robert Stack, I believe it was Robert Stack, playing Elliot Ness, or I keep wanting to say Robert Stack. I'll look it up and find out eventually for you. Into religious type of pictures is Facing the Giants. It's about a coach and his wife had fallen on bad times or rough times, and through the power of the infilling of the Holy Spirit and their belief in God, things turn around for them, as it actually does. Make sure you trust and believe. King of Kings. It's about Jesus. And The Passion of the Christ. This is Mel Gibson's adaptation of Jesus' crucifixion. Very good. Jim Caviezel stars as Christ. This is an excellent picture, by the way. World War II picture, Walking with the Enemy. It's about a Nazi officer or German officer who goes out of his way to help a Jewish child escape. This is Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway, Bonnie and Clyde. This is George C. Scott, Timothy Hutton, Tom Cruise, and Sean Penn in Taps. This is one of George C. Scott's pictures that he did a pretty good job in. Denzel Washington, Flight, where he plays an airline captain who had to do an emergency landing with a plane, and under investigation for that emergency. All the President's Men, starring Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman. Enemy at the Gates. Now, if you're into snipers, this is the original sniper. Not, timeline, but this is World War II picture where a German sniper goes up against a Russian sniper. Starring Ed Harris as the German sniper, and Bob Hoskins was in it, but Joseph Fiennes and Jude Law, Rachel Weisz. This is a good picture. Of course, I do like Bill Cosby. This is a great little film. And here's another picture called The Way Back. Now, all these people escape the Nazis, and they're finding their way back home. That's based on a true story, by the way. Now, again, I always like to say, if you see a movie that you haven't seen and would like to know more about, leave me a comment below, and I'll do my best to get you some information about that picture. And if you like this video, hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. It helps the channel. And for future videos, hit the subscribe button, and of course that active bell that lets you see all my videos every time I upload. Now, if you don't like the video, please leave us a comment below and tell us where we went wrong. I'd appreciate the comment. Outside of that, have a nice day. Peace to you. And be nice to each other. You only live once.